Hello again, everyone. Thank you for once again putting up with a rambling, incoherent old man while he throws together another horrifically edited, sloppy video. This time, I'm going to be diving into the wonderful world of OBS, trying valiantly to figure out how to record my screen properly and show you some things. This time around, I was going to put together a video based on some requests from some of you guys and kind of my own approach when I'm shopping for a laptop or trying to understand a laptop, just seeing how it performs specifically in certain games. I'm not going to pretend to put together something polished like Jared's tech. He does obviously an awesome job showing all the FPS performance for a bunch of games for laptops. I just when I'm shopping for a laptop, I'll look up a particular game and that laptop model. So for this one, I looked up, G14 RTX 4080 Fortnite, just to see. And I mean, spoiler alert, there really weren't that many videos out there showing the performance or reviewing the 4080 version of this laptop. There were a lot for the 4060 version, which is still a great GPU for the form factor. That's a side note. If you are shopping for a laptop and you're getting a 4060 or a 4070, don't bother getting anything that's over 100 watts of power use. I mean, it's been covered by a bunch of other reviewers who do a way better job than I do. But, getting like a strict SCAR G18 with a 4060 is kind of a waste because that 100 watt to 140 watt does nothing for the performance of the GPU. I mean, if you like the form factor, you like the bigger screen, go nuts. But I think 4060 and 4070 do really well in this particular form factor. Anyways, off my soapbox. So today I'm going to be going over a few of the games that I play regularly to show you two things. What it looks like and how it performs with everything just absolutely maxed out. And then what settings I use to get the best balance between performance and quality. I usually try to get as close to the 165 hertz as I can, while not giving up a whole bunch of visual quality goodies. So that's kind of my approach generally. I don't care as much when it comes to games like Cyberpunk or Starfield, but with a game like Fortnite, obviously you kind of want to get up there in the speed of stuff. So the games that I'm going to be doing today are Fortnite and Cyberpunk and Forza Horizon 5, mainly because those games, aside from Starfield, are the ones that I play fairly regularly. I can absolutely try other games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Halo Infinite, Baldur's Gate 3, Hogwarts Legacy, whatever you guys want to see. If you're trying to make a buying decision and you want to see how this will specifically perform in a game that's important to you, I just don't play those games regularly, so I'd have to install them and get them set up, which I don't mind. I'm just putting it out there. So, anyways, one of the reasons why I did Fortnite is back in 2020 when a certain virus took over the world. Uh, my very good friends and I would get on Fortnite and play Friday and Saturday nights just because it very easily facilitates just chatting while you're playing. So that's how we kind of stayed in touch, and we continue to this day to every Friday and Saturday night is Fortnite, unless we get together in person. So, anyways, those are the three games for each one. Like I said, it's going to be first, here's everything maxed out, and then here are my settings to get the best balance between performance and visual quality. And temperatures too, because we're going to be keeping an eye on temperatures to make sure that we're not cooking the computer while we're pushing that graphical fidelity. I think that's what the experts say. So what I want to do first is just set a baseline. And by baseline, I mean the core settings of the system that will be used to test everything. So the first thing I'll mention is the resolution of every game is going to be 1440p. mainly because I use a 32-inch Asus gaming monitor that's 1440p. I love using it. It's like 600 nits. It's awesome. I very rarely play on the native screen of the G14 unless I'm upstairs on Fortnite night, so I don't drive my wife nuts and have her murder me. I don't expect that the difference is going to be very drastic between 1440p and 1600p, which is the native screen resolution. It's just not that many extra pixels. So just keep that in mind. It's based on 1440p. And these are the settings that I have in GHelper. And I just wanted to go over these so that we're all on the same page. So I have it set on ultimate, so just the dedicated GPU. I have the turbo profile. And with those, I have a custom CPU and GPU fan curve set. So as you can see, at around the 60 degree mark, I just max everything out to the teats just to keep it nice and cool. And over here, I have the CPU slow set to 45 and the CPU fast set to 100. But I also have CPU boost disabled. I don't know if these make any difference if this is selected as disabled, but you know, hey, it's a psychological victory for me. So these are the settings I have. I'll pause here for a second, and you can also pause the video if you want to sort of replicate on your own computer for testing purposes. For the GPU, I have everything just maxed out here. I will give you a word of caution. When you overclock your GPU, the core clock and the memory clock offsets, your games will crash. It's not going to happen very often. It's fairly rare, and it's even more dependent on the game. So in a 3-hour Fortnite evening, I might crash once with a DirectX 12 error. And Civilization 6, on the other hand, will crash 5 minutes in almost every time with any kind of overclock on the GPU. So your mileage is going to vary depending on the game. Just keep that in mind. I haven't really experienced anything in games like Cyberpunk or Starfield, but you know, maybe try lowering this to 150 each and see if that increases stability. Again, very rare that I've run into stability issues with the overclock, but I just want to give you a bit of warning there. And then under advanced, I just have a very mild -10 undervolt on the CPU. I don't know if that makes a huge difference. It's more for temperature than anything else. The CPU temp limit I have at default because with these settings, I honestly don't really hit any major temperature limits. So those are the baseline settings. The last thing I'll mention is I am currently using an IETS GT300 laptop cooling stand. And after testing it with a few games, mainly Starfield, I cannot justify not using it. I would really love to continue using my Razer Chroma stand because I really do feel that with every other game, just raising the laptop and allowing the laptop to naturally breathe is more than enough to maximize your cooling. As an example, when I go upstairs to the kitchen on Friday and Saturday nights for Fortnite, I just have these little miniature. I'll include a link in the description of this video. It's like this magnetic ball that splits in half, and you put each half ball under the back edge of your laptop, and it just elevates it off the table by about 2 inches or so. So I just use that upstairs during Fortnite, and my temperatures never go even to the mid 70s at max load. So it's good for all of that except Starfield so far, but I mean, across the board, the IETS GT300 drops temperatures on the G14 by at least 10 degrees on average. And again, I think I mentioned in my previous video, I wasn't sure how that would work because most laptops can sit flush against the rubberized seal to force air in. The G14 can't because when you open the lid, you raise the back end up naturally, but it's 10 degrees across the board. So, and I imagine the GT500 would be even better. The GT300 is just the one that was on Facebook Marketplace at the time, and I picked it up for a really good deal. So Anyways, those are all the parameters. And oh yeah, and the GT300, the fan is set to 3, which is the max setting for the fan. So those are the parameters. And without further ado, we are going to get into the first game, which is Fortnite. So buckle up and let's have some fun. Okay, so we are officially in Fortnite. I am going to apologize in advance. I don't know how much of the fan noise is going to be picked up by the mic. I'll try to minimize it when I'm putting this thing together. It's really not as bad as it probably sounds. The combination of the laptop fan going max with the GT300 going max, it's probably going to be picked up, but I usually use noise canceling headphones, Alienware AW920H, I believe. But even without them, it's not terribly loud. So I'll do it. I'll do it backwards because, especially with Fortnite, there's a ton of settings that you can adjust. And since I already have everything adjusted perfectly for how I play, I'll start with this, and then I will go show you the epic across the board settings to see what that's like. But here's what I play at, and there's two settings that will make a key difference in the FPS. So I have it at full screen and 1440p. I limit the frames to 165 FPS because that's the speed of the monitor. Rendering mode DX12. I never play with any of these settings. We get down here, so I have custom. I have NVIDIA DLSS set to quality, and nanite virtualized geometry is on. So as you can see, I turn shadows off because the shadows impact FPS quite drastically. I will say that Fortnite, it's such a funny thing. Fortnite, of all games, when they moved to the Unreal Engine 5, Fortnite will absolutely annihilate your hardware. Like, I don't understand why Fortnite is such a challenging graphical game to deal with. It's crazy how you have to limit settings in Fortnite just to get a decent FPS. It's like it's a battle royale first person shooter. It should be like Apex Legends where it just maxes everything out. I don't get it. But anyways, so I have and these are the two settings that we'll get to in a minute, but I have global illumination and reflection set to lumen high, view distance far, textures high, effects high, post-processing high, hardware ray tracing off, obviously, and I have NVIDIA Reflex low latency set to on. The basically how I get to this is I set the quality preset to high, and then I make the adjustment on anti-aliasing because it doesn't default to DLSS for some reason, and then I adjust everything down to far and high. Now with these settings, I will get around 110 FPS on average. But when I turn these down to ambient occlusion and screen space, I'll get 150 to 165. So these two settings really make a huge difference in terms of performance. So I'll show you. I'll start playing with lumen high. I didn't really make any adjustments, so we'll start a game here. And once I'm in the game, I'll show you with the lumen high settings, and then I'll make an adjustment mid-game and show you the same game but with those set down, and you'll see the difference. So that's a big difference. And these are the settings that I typically play at. I don't really mind 100 to 110. Even in really busy scenes, it'll dip down to 90. The reflections and the lighting is so gorgeous that I'm okay playing at like 90 FPS if I'm getting that level of visual fidelity. It's pretty good. So yeah, we'll just give it a minute. So this is with the crazy visual settings. There we go, I'll use that. So typically anywhere from 90 to 120, sometimes 130 if you're not looking at anything. If you're looking at a big scene, it dips down, obviously. But then we're going to go into settings, and we're just going to drop these two down from lumen high to ambient occlusion, lumen high to screen space. And all of a sudden we're at like 150 to 165, 140 in busy spots. I don't understand why. Well, I mean, I understand why, because the Unreal Engine 5 adds a lot of complexity to the visual quality. But those two settings, if you play at a preset in Fortnite and you're wondering why you're not getting great FPS, those two settings are specifically the reason why. Those and shadows. And if you really, really want to play with shadows, I would just suggest medium. You don't need ultra settings on shadows. I don't really find a massive visual difference between the ultra settings and medium settings when it comes to shadows. But it makes a huge performance difference. And then, yeah, I mean, once the NVIDIA GPU has a chance to settle in, you're at really high FPS with these settings. So if you want to get to around 165 hertz, nice try, buddy. If you want to get to around 165 hertz, those are the settings you want to have. Again, I typically use the high preset. I change to NVIDIA DLSS and set it to quality, and then I don't care if I die here. I'll just go back to settings, and these two are going to make a huge difference. If you want the additional visual quality, you set them to lumen high, and I think that's a good compromise. You still get, high 90s to low 110s. And the reflections look gorgeous. So it's entirely up to you. But those are the two sort of settings I typically use. Now I'm going to just adjust the preset to epic across the board. We'll do an auto set real quick. I think it goes back to TSR epic, which is insane. So I'll just hit apply again, and then go back, and then get ready for the slideshow. Well, it's around 50 to 60, which, I mean, again, Fortnite is insane with how crusty it is with your system resources. Like, it's so hungry for hardware. It's crazy. But yeah, so this is it. Everything maxed out across the board. I will say that the TSR anti-aliasing looks better than DLSS. That's my just personal opinion. My personal opinion isn't really worth a ton of beans, but I just want to share that. I'll go back into settings, and instead of TSR epic, I'll do DLSS quality. And actually, it's interesting. We'll see if that makes much of a difference. Yeah, I mean, well, it makes no real difference. I'm still at 60 FPS with everything maxed out to epic. Uh-oh. There you are, buddy. Oops. Yeah, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. DLSS, as soon as I dispatch my friend here or get to a safe spot, I will change to, let's go here. We'll change to, where's DLSS? We'll change to balanced. And let's see here. And no difference between balanced and quality. Let's see performance. Okay. And really no difference there either. So there you go. That's with everything epic. Again, I really recommend that you go down a bit, you find a nice balance between everything. For me, again, that balance is DLSS set to quality, and shadows off, lumen high, far, high, off. I find this to be a nice sort of balance between visual quality and performance. That's kind of weird. Oh, I guess I locked at FPS. There we go. Oh god, now. What am I doing? Okay, sorry guys. I'm going to auto set this again. But I guess when it auto set last time, it limited the frames to 60, which is why it was stuck at 60. So I'm an idiot, and I'll try to edit the video after this. But as you can see, with the default settings at Epic across the board, it's around the mid 60s to low 70s, which is better than the 60s that I was locked at. Wow. So yeah, this is my first time. I'm new here. Hi. Yeah, so mid 60s. Let's go in here again and change from TSR to DLSS quality, and make sure that we're not capped at 60 FPS like a bumhead. Here we go. So now with DLSS set to quality, it's still high 60s to mid 70s. And then we'll try DLSS balanced. So there we go. So high 70s, low 80s. All right. Okay. And then we'll go here. And let's go to performance for DLSS and see what we're at. So mid to high 80s, low 90s for everything maxed out. I mean, okay, that's not bad. We will go back here, and I'm gonna go back to my settings. Again, I think my settings are a good balance between everything. You're getting, low to mid, low hundreds, 110, 120, and everything looks great. So yeah, so this is Fortnite in a nutshell. If you have any questions, just, again, I'm sorry about the stupidity of the default of capping the FPS to 60 when you make auto adjustments. So again, I'll try to... you know what? I'm just going to leave it in. Screw you guys. Have fun. You know what? We learn from our mistakes, and that's definitely an epic mistake on my part. But yeah, so just I hope you watched this far. Yeah, I'll turn those back down just so you can once again see the difference. You're now very close to that refresh rate for the monitor with those set off. So there's Fortnite. If you have any questions about that absolute gong show, again, post in the comments and let me know. I should just redo this entire thing, but I have an actual job that pays money that I have to do, so I won't be doing that. Just watch the whole thing. I'll try to make Cyberpunk and Forza smoother than this, so just bear with me. Okay, so now welcome to Cyberpunk. Again, I'll just show you the... I might mix it up a bit this time. Let me go out into the corridor here, just to get a bit of graphical sort of pressure. So I'll go into my settings, and we'll go over a number of them. So we're going to set this to full screen, and I like HDR because I have an HDR monitor. And we're going to go graphic settings. So, quick preset is at Ray Tracing Ultra. I'm going to use frame generation because I have a 4080 and I friggin' want to use frame generation because it comes with it and it's awesome and I want to check it out. So obviously this resolution scaling's off. I'm using frame gen. DLSS is set to auto. And honestly, I have everything kind of maxed out. Yeah, I'm just looking here. Everything's on high or ultra. High, ultra, ray tracing on, ray tracing ultra. So these are the settings that I have. And we're going to get into game and...
When danger lurks, Trauma Team will be there. Sign up for our platinum plan today.
And we'll just see FPS. So, with everything set absolutely ultra across the board and with frame gen,
Don't forget,
getting a steady 80, like mid 80s, which is really freaking good. I don't notice any difference between frame gen and no frame gen, except for the smoothness. Like I don't notice any missing frames or anything like that. So these are pretty damn good results for the settings. Again, what I will do is if I want to increase FPS and get closer to that screen refresh rate, which really isn't that big a deal with a game like this, turn contact shadows off, local mesh shadow quality, local shadow quality, all the shadows I'll kind of turn down a bit, and then click apply. And then we go out back in game. Doesn't really make a huge difference, but it gets into the 90s. I have a feeling if you want to get into, the 165 hertz territory, you're going to have to shut a lot of things down. So let's just go to quick preset. Let's go to ultra without ray tracing. And now we're over 100. I mean, this game still looks pretty damn good without ray tracing, I gotta say. The ray tracing doesn't make a massive sort of difference to me, but I think it looks great.
There's enough for everyone.
So settings. Let's just go to ray tracing low to see if low ray tracing makes much of a difference. And it really doesn't. It's almost the same as, it's a bit higher than just ultra without ray tracing, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. What, Eddie?
So there you have it. Let's, just for fun, we're going to go to ray tracing overdrive, and we're just going to go friggin' crazy with everything, just for fun to see what happens. And the path tracing, this is gonna nuke this computer, but you know what? You only live once. Let's see what we're getting.
Ladies started forgetting all kinds of shit.
I mean,
So go ask her
okay.
for meds. Maybe she'll forget you.
So everything's set to maximum, and that path tracing setup, high 40s, low 50s. I mean, for a, whoa, here we go. For a 14-inch laptop, I mean, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty crazy. Ray tracing overdrive, yeah. Is there another ray tracing setting? I thought there was. I thought there was ray tracing. Yeah, just on. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty nice. Even with everything set to absolute maximum with the path tracing, you're getting pretty good frames. I don't necessarily like... I mean, everything looks great. I just don't necessarily find it as immersive as most people do, so I just go back to my... Let's try ray tracing medium just for poops and giggles. That, I guess that turns ray traced reflections off, and then the lighting is set to medium. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, so ray tracing medium gets you low 90s, high 80s. Really not worth it. I think for a game like Cyberpunk, the best settings are just to leave it at ray tracing ultra. Take advantage of the frame generation for a game like this. It doesn't have any discernible impact on anything, really. Everything seems pretty smooth. Yeah, so with ray tracing ultra, getting mid to high 80s, low 90s, which is pretty good. So there you go. There's Cyberpunk, and I guess our last one is going to be Forza Horizon 5, so stay tuned. Okay, so finally, Forza Horizon 5. This game's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Just because I like racing games, but I'm absolutely horrible at them. I think the last one that I put any effort into was Gran Turismo 2 on the, or just 2 or 3. It was on the PS2. I spent like 10 hours to eventually unlock a Honda Accord. So yeah, there we go. But this is a lot of fun. I find this game very forgiving on hardware. And also this car that I'm using is the best car in the game. You can keep your Bugattis. I friggin' love rally cars, and this thing is an absolute
Hola, amiga.
monster.
I was talking to someone who found a classic car in a granero somewhere in this area.
Oh,
Would you be interested in restoring a pickup truck?
God, how annoying that is. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the master volume down for the purposes of this. And I'll go into my settings as I have them. So, where are we? Video. Yes, save and continue. Video. So, full screen. I have it capped at, let's cap it at 175. I think this monitor is Overdrive or something. I have DLSS set to balanced. Frame gen is on. And the reflex latency is on. And then for graphics, kind of have everything on extreme or ultra. I'm not sure why it says custom there, but everything is just maxed out entirely. And you're getting an average of 130 to 150, depending on how crazy the scenery is. You can see the FPS in the upper right. But I mean, and I think OBS is going to impact it by a few FPS, obviously. But yeah, this is with everything maxed out at 1440p. Not terrible. It's more than enough for me. If you really want to get to the 165 or so, I find, where's the graphics here? Shadow quality, turning that down a bit. I'm just looking for other things. Shader quality, ray tracing quality. Let's try high. I don't know if that's going to make a massive difference, but it does. So yeah, just oops, sorry, man. Just turning the shadow quality to high and the ray tracing to high is going to get you to the 160, 165 without breaking a sweat. So yeah, that's. I mean, there isn't much to show with Forza Horizon 5 since it's not super demanding on the hardware. Yeah, there you go. That's Forza Horizon 5. Yes, please. So, yeah, there you are. Those are the 3 main games that I play. Um, Fortnite, Fortnite, Cyberpunk, and Forza Horizon 5. Obviously, Starfield is a big one for me as well. Um, and again, I know my last video I was using a shaky cam iPhone instead of doing the proper thing with OBS. So again, I'm getting about 60 FPS with everything just absolutely maxed out. I think contact shadows and shadow quality I turned down to medium, but everything else is maxed out at 1440p, and it's a steady 60 FPS, which is pretty good considering this game doesn't seem to be very optimized. So yeah. So anyways, those are the games. If you have any other games that you want me to try, comment in the chat. Comment below the video or send me an email, and I will be very happy to install a game and try it for you. Like I said, I don't really play a lot of other games, but if you're kind of on the fence, deciding whether or not you're going to get this laptop and you want to see how it handles certain games, just let me know what those games are. I will install them, I'll try them out, I'll post a quick video showing performance and settings, both maxed out and ideal, and hopefully you can make the same decision I made, which is, for a 14-inch laptop, this thing is fairly unstoppable. And again, if you want a 4080 or 4090 and you want to get the absolute best performance out of it, you're not getting the G14. You just aren't. And that's not to say the G14 is bad, it's just the Strix Scar, the M16 and M18, Razer Blade 16 and 18, those are bigger laptops with more thermal room. They're going to perform better. They have higher wattage, and with the 4080 and 4090, wattage matters. So if your sole concern is absolute maximum performance for a 4080 or 4090, the G14 is not your laptop. If you want something that's small and portable and sexy and just looks like it was carved and the forge of Hephaestus himself for the Greek gods, but can also run Starfield at absolute max settings at 60 FPS, then the Zephyrus G14 4080 is your laptop. So again, I'm gonna sign out here, and just let me know if there's anything else you want me to record, anything else you want me to test. I am at your disposal, and if it helps you make a good decision, so be it. And likewise, if you discover anything about the G14 that I haven't really thought of before, please let me know, because I really need to know. Wow, this really fell off a cliff fast, man. All right, till next time. I have to go back and earn a living and then spend 5 minutes playing games until my kids are home and need help with everything because they're useless. So yeah, signing off. What am I call myself? Tech geriatric? It's so stupid. Just anyways, bye.